Alright, so we are back in Ableton, and I did lose a little bit of footage, so there is like 5 to 10 minutes of like work that got lost, but it wasn't, I probably wasn't going to show that anyway. I would have fast forwarded and edited those parts out, so all I really did was I kind of started working on the intro. So now we're in the part of the track where we're just rewriting each section, so I'm just going to kind of now go from intro to end, and that's basically how the videos are going to follow. So what I did is I deleted some ARPs and stuff. I added in some snare loops. I added more effects in into the noise rack and things like that. So just more of like uplifters and those kind of things. And I took out some pads. And what else did I do? I also swapped out the kick. So the intro kick was too clean. The clean kick was just the one that we can build with everything else and use in later parts. But for the intro, we need to have a much heavier kick to kind of just hook you. And hook the listener a little bit more. So this is what we have now. So for all intents and purposes, that is the intro for now. So writing a track is a little bit like writing an essay. You know, you go through a lot of rough drafts, and that's really what takes you the most time, because anyone could just kind of quickly write something. And but you know, with rewriting it and perfecting it, that's when it starts to become, you know, something a lot better. So I think most producers, like that I've heard talk about making a track, they always say it takes about 40 hours to make one track, and there are a lot of people that can write a track in like 3 to 4 hours. But you know, where that other 37 hours comes in is probably just rewriting and tweaking things. For me, I spend, you know, so much time doing those things, rewriting and tweaking, and especially getting the mix right. That seems to take a while. So you know, most people will just hand it out to somebody else with stems at that point, and that's perfectly okay because you made sure it was all good. So let's start doing a release part. So maybe we should I guess we can just relabel this to release, and I think it'd be fun maybe to play around with some pads, some strings, maybe pianos. I'm thinking pianos, so let's add in a piano. So I'm just really going with whatever idea pops into my head. So let's go plugins, and I don't know if I've mentioned this, but these Korg plugins are just the best. Highly suggest these. So I guess we should take some MIDI from somewhere. Like I said, in probably like one of the earlier videos, that we're just gonna use a lot of the same MIDI, just because it has our scales in like all that kind of stuff in there already. So we can see we have our scale there. So we're just gonna kind of delete everything. I don't really want any of this. So let's loop it and let's find the right piano. And this should be about 12 dB down. So let's listen to this. So I don't know if that's the one we're gonna keep, but I think I can work with it for now. So it's kind of weird. Sometimes you add in things that helps you write out stuff, and then as you add in more layers and more textures to that, you actually end up taking out the original like layers, and it becomes something completely different. But the way you got there was by writing it with something else, if that makes any sense. So it's always good to experiment and see what you'll end up with. So let's maybe delete all this. I have my MIDI keyboard on, so I will just be playing it by hand. Alright, so I messed around with that for a bit, and now we have kind of like this pad that we can kind of now start working with. So, and maybe another thing we can add is like a pluck. So maybe we'll go back into plugins, and I could literally use any soft synth or instrument to make a pluck. So right now, if I choose one, it's going to be based on like what that synth can give that particular pluck. So I want to try something different. So maybe I'll go with Anna because I don't use it as often. And let's just find a pluck in Anna or make a pluck. It really doesn't matter. And let's copy down this MIDI. And before we do anything else, let's also shorten this because, like I said, it'll be a pluck. So we can turn on a sequencer actually, so I don't need to do much here. So let's undo this. So as you just heard, like I just played the default, and that actually sounded kind of cool. So I'm thinking I might just keep that as a layer. So with the layering, you have to remember, like, everybody stacks like 10 to 14 things on one thing just to make one simple sound. And the thing is, not every layer needs to be the most intricate, crazy sound design thing you've ever done. It, like, you know, most of the times what will be more successful is just keeping them simple. Like, most of your layers should be really simple, like simple sine wave, simple saw wave type patches, or whatever you're trying to go for. And then just have that one top layer on top of everything, on top of all your other layers, that is the crazy intricate one. And then all those other simple layers just kind of fatten it up. So we're going to keep this one because I know from just layering so much that this is a good layer. So let's duplicate this. And I actually like the Anna. Anna has a nice sound to it. So let's find a pluck. So I think you saw what I did there. I added this arpeggiator to make, for now, this kind of this mini of this chord to play as a kind of pluck, and we have the pluck layer, and now we need to add a filter to this group. So let's go back to plugins. Let's go to freebies because that's where I have some good filters that are free that you guys can get as well. So let's find the filters. I have this all organized now. I really do like the DJing filter by Xfer. It's an emulation of the Pioneer 800's mixer, I think. So it's I really like it. Really don't have to say much else. It's a good simple filter. So let's play around with this now. Alright, so I think now what we got to do is add another piano that can play a melody over this, and we're going to color it so we know it's a different thing. And let's put it down here. And I'm trying to think what I might want to do with this. If I'm thinking if I leave it more plain, I can throw a vocal over it. If I you know, make it very melodic, it can stand alone by itself. So you know, I just gotta decide those kind of things. It's always good to kind of make up your mind before you do things. That way you're kind of working towards something. But let's see, we're just gonna find something on this layer, so that should maybe guide me a bit there in making that decision. Alright, so we kind of have what is basically the quick rough draft of the release. So now we just kind of have to make the transition. So we have to like do some filtering, add some more space, maybe do like a reverse like reverb sort of effect. So let's do all that. So first thing we should do is probably add about maybe a bar or a bar and a half to this. So right around here, we'll just press Command I. So just to give it some space. So let's play it. So right now, that's what I would consider to be a very rough transition, but I think if we add an audio track and resample this with some reverb, we can get maybe what we want. So let's go to resampling, and we're gonna have to do this in a weird way. So we're gonna have to throw everything into one group for now, or let's see, what could I do here? I can group these three together. And let's throw a lot of reverb on both of these groups that we're going to throw off later. So we're just temporarily adding a lot of reverb so we can record it like that and then reverse it. And that's basically like the reverse reverb trick. There's several ways to do it. I'm going to do it in a very quick way. That isn't the exact way that most people do it, but it's okay. So let's use ambience because I really love this plugin. Let's make sure it's really wet and dry. So something like this, really long decay. We don't need the gating, but this is like the best reverb for vocals. This is like the only one I use. I say that because you can really create big spaces, and then with gating, you know, kind of control the tail ends, and it's just really great. So let me copy paste this onto the other group. And let's make sure that it's very, that it's got a lot of reverb on it. So let's listen. Alright, so now what we do is we don't need everything. We just need like a little chunk. So we're just going to take basically the first little bar of this, and we're just going to take this over here. And let's paste into an empty place. So we need some space to do this. Now what we're gonna do is just solo these groups and then record it. So pretty easy. So just make sure to hit Control Save, and that's everything I wanted to do for this video. So thanks guys for watching, and of course, lates. Oh wait, and also I started tutoring people on my site because a lot of you guys have asked me if I will tutor them, and so I don't know what it is about this month, but like 10 different people like messaged me to tutor, and so now I guess that's a thing I do. So yeah, if you are interested in that, just check out my website. So thanks guys for watching, and of course, lates.